So last session, your group finally made it through the distractions caused by the tunnel of many shafts, and found your
Oh
way
dear
into a
God.
into a water-filled section of hallway. So despite the narrow entry, this area was much bigger than the rest of the tunnel once you had entered, especially when the entryway began grinding to a close and the walls in front of you began to pull back, and horrific-looking fishmen and women emerged from the water, that had a reflective surface that was difficult to see under, and the water level began to slowly rise from around your ankles and creeping up, as your encounter went on. Sorry, I lost my place and just started stumbling there. So, despite being faced with a formidable group of, I'm going to get the pronunciation of this wrong, but I think it's Sanguin fish people, some liberally deployed dynamite and fireballs rapidly turned the tide of the battle, and even the emergence of some sharks did little to do anything other than put chum in the water as you cleaned them up in quick time, barely breaking stride and finishing the fight moments before the water hit swimming depth where you were standing. Ali was the closest to, actually, she was swimming, and Brutus was swimming, as was the Drake and Grebo, the Zev's black cat, who every now and then you guys would notice. Seeing there was only one exit, you swam towards it, and exiting that room up some stairs, were then approached by a female figure that initially looked like the fin-headed eel snake from the waist down figure that you obliterated, who initially you very briefly saw was hiding behind the large forearm that I will say now barren because I dropped that last time. Um, as she exited the water and came up the stairs, arms out to her side to clearly indicate she held no weapons, she asked you all, "Can we talk?" Getting a better look at her, the first thing you notice is that the closer inspection is that she's covered in tattoos over her elven appearing top half, and the tattoos are
Mummy.
moving as if they have a life of their own. And the clothing she has from the waist up, from the waist down, it is that snake slash eel like um, bottom half that just moves liquidly from the water onto land. No, doesn't seem to have any difficulty moving between the two, and it is extremely fine yet revealing clothing that she has on top. There's not a lot to it, but it does appear to be extremely well made. But the main thing that is striking about her appearance is the proliferation of tattoos from her neck down, and in and under her clothing, and that are constantly moving. And the little bits and pieces each of you can pick out in the light that you still have in this area is that some of those tattoos are elaborately detailed. Others are that old, I think they call it an Americana style, where it is almost like a childlike drawing with the thick, heavy lines and the simplistic shapes and look to them. There's just a dizzying array of figures that are moving like a kaleidoscope. Every now and then they pause, and you see octopuses and ogres and humans and elves and what appears to be maybe tiny dragons and then goblins. And you even see, because it's moving a bit slower than the others, a giant tortoise slowly moving amongst the array of other tattooed figures that are echoing across her skin. But in terms of her coming up the steps and where you now find yourselves, um, after that, can we talk? As she looks around each of you, and as you're taking in the like just getting a decent look at this figure, this really strange woman that has changed over the course of a couple of seconds from something monstrous and fish-like into this bizarre combination of half elven, half whatever that bottom half is. Um, she looks around at each of you, paying particular attention to the couple of members of your party that actually are looking far less the worse for wear. Which especially, I believe it was Brutus was in particularly bad nick. Jake is extremely sore. So you can definitely see that there's some signs of damage amongst your party. And with a very careful movement of her hands, that Zach, you with your um, innate intelligence and awareness and growing awareness of spells and magic pick up on that it is very benign. There's nothing untoward that she's doing. Um, those hands spread wide, and in the space between each of you, where you are staggered out around the exit from the little water world you just found yourselves in, with those hands move, she says to you all, "But first, a champion feast for a group of heroic champions. And in and around all of you, this table appears
Better not be fish.
that is just covered with, and this is like a table that is at least 10 to 12 feet long and around 8 feet wide, and it is piled with food and drinks. There are these beautiful timber and velvet chairs around the outside of the table with enough for everybody, including the animals and companions and all the various hangers on that you and your group have. And as soon as it appears, haven't really seen much of him or noticed him doing too much of late, but Zeb's cat Grebo just jumps up to the one of the chairs at the head of the table, and his little black one-eyed grizzled face is doing its best impression of the white meme cat as he looks around all of you with a big smile on his face. You could swear you see him wink as he just goes face first into a steaming cooked fish that is at the on the plate at the
What
end of
is
that
fish?
table,
Oh my god.
and he's hoeing into that at one end, as this all appears in front of you, and that's where we find ourselves. So,
Oh,
what would you
I'm
guys like to
straight
do?
diving in.
Oh, I'm calling sus. Like I'm dubious as to. I'm hanging back. As to,
Alia is up on the table,
Wow.
just not even going to the chairs, and is buried into what looks like a raccoon's head is just disappeared inside the back end of a turkey. You've now got a, a raccoon lower half and a turkey top half at the moment.
Find a meme for that.
I'm thinking of one already. How familiar with people with friends?
Monica.
So Bocchionis is a little bit standoffish.
Yeah.
Dubious,
Zach,
yep.
you, like I said, you're the only one in your group who has that awareness of the benign nature of this. Ali just gone in on blind faith. Rebo's quite happy and comfortable. He's hooking in.
Yeah,
But
I grabbed some as well. Yeah, oh, nice to meet you. You definitely know the way to make friends with these guys.
I do try. It is. I do prefer the carrot or the sugar over the stick. And she just carefully, not exactly sure how it works, but she doesn't take the other head of the table chair. She just takes seeing what everybody's doing and then carefully seats herself at the chair nearest to her. So if you look on the map, whether it's the stream or the in the foundry, I've just basically positioned you guys where you were and consider yourselves seated around the table in that manner, unless you have a particular order you want to sit in. Um, there's not a lot at this point that the order of the table seats matter. And Fokionis, you're still standing off a bit. So what's
I'll sit down at
Fokionis
the table,
feeling
but
at
I'm
this
not
point?
really eating. I'm just observing at this point in time. Just it's a bit fishy,
I just it is. There are other things though than the
I've heard
fish.
of paddock to plate, but come on, bro. You just really fucked these guys up and you're serving it up. Like, come on.
Looks at you perplexed from a.
I'm
Oh, that's very clever. But no, I'd never eat that filth or serve it. This is magic. And you can tell that actually, no, none of you have a high enough passive. The
I
Alia may have had a chance of picking it up, but no, it's all good. So Jake's eating, according to Liliana. I'm watching the meme. I figured that was the one you were going for.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, and she loads up plate, pours this orangey liquid that's in the jugs that are around the table, and is eating and drinking the same as what the rest of you have. And yeah, this is, you may have it. Some of your party may have achieved this feat. It's actually a very handy team spell called Hero's Feast. If you do partake over the next hour, you will come out with some temporary but worthwhile benefits. And if you want to read the details, rather than have me read out Hero's Feast to you, there is I put the little item active, so as if it's a scroll, but you do have some benefits from the feast that we will apply to your character. If you don't do anything with it yet, it's if you do sit and eat the meal for the next hour, you will come up with some benefits as she promised you.
Righto.
Well, don't you all
Yeah.
look dumb now?
I'm partaking. I just, don't like jump in like an animal.
Not going head
I have
first into a
animal
turkey.
instincts.
I
You're
don't.
gonna blame me for that?
I don't- I-
All right. So as you're eating, and then just sort of kind of it seems that waiting just to see that you've reached a comfort level, um, and that there is at least an awareness that she hasn't tried to do anything suspect. That you've eating this food, drinking, and no one's sick, injured. Each of you begin as you're like eating this and drinking that you really feel that regeneration, that glow starting to come back, the health starting to come back for especially Jake and Brutus. Brutus has grabbed something that is now just a bone left, and he's underneath the table, chewing on that. And anyone who checks in on him will see that he is looking a lot healthier and his wounds are knitting up. Jake is definitely beginning to feel better from the injuries and wounds that he had suffered, including some quite grievous cuts. Um, so yeah, everybody is starting to feel the benefits of this after around the 5 to 10 minute mark. And just as a side note above the table, if any of you see Lily come in before I do, can you let me know? Because
Lily's
I
here.
Yeah, you
think
mean like right now?
Oh. I saw your message that was you could do it on the way home. So sorry.
I was at my front
You-
door. I just had like stairs to climb.
I've just refreshed. I just minimized OBS and opened it back up. You weren't showing up on OBS. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't think you were here. Sorry about that. Welcome. So you're starting to feel better. And the fish lady has put up a hero's feast for you all and basically just asked you to eat, drink, and reap the rewards of your heroically overcoming the foes you just blew the living shit out of moments before. um, as you're sitting there eating, the who ended up grabbing the loot? Was that you, Fokionis, when you went down to get your spear? I think it was.
Maybe. I don't recall. Let's go with yes.
Okay. So she looks over and you go, May I see what you're able to recover from the remains of that battle?
Or why?
Because I know
Jeez.
what they were carrying. I've been infiltrated in the ranks of this group for quite some time, waiting for a party of heroes such as yourselves to be able to overcome them. So anything that survived the immolation that occurred in that room, I will be able to tell
I'm
you what
calling
it
it.
is.
This chick's a spy. I say we vote her out.
She's a knock.
This engineer.
No, she's too pretty to be evil.
Sorry.
I do not
Evil ones are
understand some of
always
your
evil.
references, but
Oh,
how
that was
rude of
above
me.
table, come on.
I am Serena Signet. And as soon as she says that, you see just lighting up above her, now that she's introduced herself, you see her name come up like you've seen on and off with players, especially in the early days of entering through the fall. Although all of you had initially, and nothing has changed that I'm aware of, had decided to hide that particular feature, as had most of the people you've encountered. But just on that initial introduction, it flashes and glows, and it's a bit jarring because it's that reminder of where you are and what you're doing, and a fresh new bit of alienation of and reminder of just how fucked up this whole situation is. And if you forget any of this, it's in her name and on her character. But you see the Serena signet that starts with a silent T. And in brackets there is NPC Elite, and then a strange pointy bracket code that is VOTD with a capital V and a capital D. She seems completely oblivious to this, as every NPC that you have encountered. It's what is currently happening is being consistent with what you've experienced, except that most NPCs that you've encountered so far have actually had that that marker without it glowing upon their introduction. This is a bit different for her, but she's oblivious to that and is looking and listening, and so you can make as much of that above the table as you like, but she took enough cues to introduce herself and is now looking around at the rest of your group.
I mean, you can have a look, but I've got first dibs, okay? Hand over the, what is it, bag, crate, pile.
Yeah, that pile of goodies that it appears that most of the gore has come off them with the water, and then the time in your spatial storage. But you do hand that over, and she chuckles as she takes them up. You go, I promise I have no need of these trinkets. And as she says that, if you just take a little bit of a closer look, you can see that there is a definite level of finery to what she is wearing. And despite how scantily she is clad on her top half, it definitely, as we mentioned, appears very well made. But now that she's drawn attention to not needing some of these things, and the tattoos seem to have slowed down their movement around her skin, you can see that there definitely seems to be signs of there is potentially armor or something stronger than cloth underneath the scant amount of clothing she has on her top half. So she identifies the items that you have, and handing them back one at a time is a cloak of elvenkind, a goggles of night, so the enable whoever has them to get dark vision, and increase the range of dark vision if someone who already has dark vision wears it. The cloak of elvenkind, and you can read these and go into more detail with whoever actually takes them. But with that cloak of elvenkind on, you have some checks against you that get made with disadvantage, and you get some advantage on the stealth checks. And you also, because you have some camouflage from that cloak of elvenkind. And then the final item is a really small model boat, that turns out to be a folding boat that, with keywords, command words that you give to it, and that whoever attunes to it and makes use of this can set those command words, as with spaghetti. You can change the size and configuration of that boat. So at the moment, it is very much like a model boat that would appear in a bottle. It's not in a bottle. That is around 12 inches long, 6 inches wide, and 6 inches deep. So it's not super large, but it does have 3 command words to change its configuration to 3 different sizes. And the other item is a potion of greater healing. And as she hands all those back, she actually takes out an extra one. And let me see. Yep. She also hands over to you, and I'll drop it into the loot pile so you have it there too. Like, I have no need for this. And it's a potion of supreme healing, which is a larger bottle with a deep crimson color. And the creepy little man would occasionally come through here and drop these off, or they would be collected. Uh, he was a slimy individual. She sort of shudders a little bit as she hands over those potions.
Cool, thanks.
And the rest of the items. So you now know what each of those are to do
So
with as you will.
above the table, cloak of elvenkind, not elven king. What am I doing?
Yeah, they're in the. If you open up the loot pile, you should be able to open it.
Written them,
and you also grabbed 500 gold worth of currency.
500
well.
schmackers.
Yeah.
What?
We did wrap up quite quickly at
Too
the end
far
of
away to interact with
that
this.
last session. Oh, here, I'll move it over. Move it over closer to you.
Cool. Ooh, thank you.
That's okay. So you've just been handed all of that back with an extra.
Yep. It says 84 gold, not 500. Is that right?
It's meant to say 500. I don't know why. Maybe it's actually I don't know why it'd be
No, I
dividing it.
think
Unless
better.
it's dividing it amongst all your party. It's 500 gold.
Cool. All good.
All right. So the meal is continuing on. You can see that she is carefully studying each of you, and is watching body language and how you're eating, and kind of a little bit perplexed by what is now basically just the back end of a raccoon that is sticking out of the remnants of a turkey carcass. And before we do the next bit, can I just get all of you please to make a wisdom saving throw?
What? Been fooled.
Do we get the advantage of the
Oh, good question.
feast?
No, not yet. You haven't yet been there for an hour. You've been at this point about 20 minutes into the hour.
Oh, nice. I'll take that.
Oh, damn.
You can do the roll wherever you like. Just let me know what your totals are.
Yeah, my foundry's messing up. 6.
Because it's 6.
Wait, did you say save or straight roll?
Save.
Save.
Five.
15.
Yep. And Alia?
Are you muted?
9.
Thank you.
I forgot I muted myself when I sneezed.
All right. So each of you, just as you're sitting and eating and drinking, you're becoming more and more comfortable in Serena's presence. You start to each of your characters start to relax, and you're letting that guard down a bit. You're less concerned and suspicious of her, and far more inclined than what you were when you first sat down to eat, to regard her with suspicion. And you're definitely feeling yourself warming towards her. Where are we? Zach and Jake, you are both just really enamored with Serena. Like, she is, even though she's not saying much, like every movement is fascinating. The way her hair is kind of draped over one shoulder, the carefully plaited braids, sort of hanging tight in sections and loose in others, the slight glimpses of the elven ears poking through. You are just fascinated by her, and almost barely paying attention to the food and drink, as you hang on her every movement and gesture and what she's doing. She seems absolutely lovely.
Is she though?
Of course she is.
Is she though?
Bocchionis, you're still like a little bit standoffish, but you were all definitely warming to her.
I'm calling it sus.
Dante can be as sus as he likes.
Just saying.
All right. So you got all that stuff back. Is there anything that your characters would like to do at this juncture as you're eating and drinking, and we're about a third of a way through the meal that would gain you the benefits if you were to stay for the hour with this strange figure in your midst?
I feel like we should ask him.
Oh,
There you go.
sorry.
There you go.
That's
There you go.
okay.
All right. You go.
You go.
You go.
You go.
I don't know this, Hugo, but you should go.
Jake spoke up first, so Jake, could you go, please?
I just wanted to ask her where I could get clothes like hers.
Hey!
Oh, look, should you make it through to where me or my people and I are, I will gladly outfit you. And takes a pushes back a little bit because Zachary and Jake are up her end of the table. I should move Jake because he was sticking with Zachary like glue. Leans back, looks at you a little, and nods approvingly. Yes, this would suit you just fine.
I mean, I'm down to swap right now. I'm just saying, I think you'd look very nice in my clothes as well.
What particularly are you offering, Jake?
Just a straight up swap of aesthetic clothing.
Yep. Make a persuasion check for me.
How does a 12 sound?
Ooh.
Let me go. I haven't done her roll yet. Where is it? There we go. What did you roll?
A 12.
Yep, that 12 will do it. So she looks, considers. Yeah, that seems fair. I'm always up for trying something new.
I feel like
So,
it would really show off your shoulders.
at, which are already bare. And
Yeah, but
just
this one's got like a better cut.
without any thought, she just reaches behind whatever the haven't yet seen the catch or latching mechanism of it is, but the very small garment that is basically covering from midriff to part of the way up her breasts, and the rest of her is exposed with those writhing tattoos. But as we said, as you've been eating and talking, they seem to have slowed down as the atmosphere has been more and more relaxed. And hands over that to you, and you see what's left behind is this shimmering metal, this chainmail that is instantly recognizable by all of you apart from Alia, who's still almost done with the turkey. But it is a mithril chainmail that she has, a much more um, feminine design than the kind of all-purpose one that was being worked in the smithy. But it is a mithril, clearly mithril now that you've all been exposed to it. Chainmail underneath as she hands over that garment to you, and it is very finely made, Jake. You can't tell the material, but it is beautiful to the touch and the feel, and there is not a seam or thread out of place as she hands it over to you with a slight smile at the edge of her lips.
Well, I guess it's time for Jake to strip.
Yes, it is. She doesn't have anything for the bottom half. It's all like snake and eel tail. There's no clothing there. This is literally the only thing she was wearing, and now you can see that. Oh, apart from her jewelry, now you can see the mithril chainmail that was underneath.
Fine, I'll hand over Jake's top.
What is Jake's top? I can see it in your artwork, but give us
So
paint us a
Jake's
picture.
top is just imagine like a turtleneck sweater, except you take off the arms and it's tight as all hell. It's probably the best way to explain it. It is a proper piece of clothing. It has proper names. I'm just not the most fashion forward to know those names. But it is the peak of character design. We call it the slutty tank top in the art community.
Perfect. I wouldn't know if you were using real words or not. So it's now canon. Jake has handed over his slutty tank top, which Serena it sort of holds, looks, inspects, shakes it out a little, and then just proceeds to just lightly and full of grace just slide into it. And it fits her like a second skin, um, covering more of the. Is it sleeveless or sleeved? I just need to know for the
It is
tattoo.
sleeveless. It is cut from around halfway along the shoulder, down the collarbone, and underneath the arms.
Yeah. Okay. So where much of her skin was exposed from the shoulderless outfit she was wearing, now just different parts are exposed as Serena has curves in different places to Jake's lean and wiry chest, and there are now further tattoos exposed in other places. I'm trying to keep to our session 0 and not go down an anime hentai rabbit hole here.
What's hentai? No, that's fine.
I think it's what the female chicken says to the male chicken, or
Sorry,
he
what
says it
did
to
you
her like
call it?
hentai. I said
Oh
hentai
my
instead of
God.
hentai. I said the wrong pronunciation, and I instantly regretted it. And Jake, sorry,
Nothing.
I was saying things to avoid. I probably shouldn't have even opened that Pandora's box. So, are you happy putting this on yourself, Jake, or would you like some assistance?
No, I'm going to obviously flaunt my bare chest first for a few seconds.
Yep.
Wink at the nearest companions. And then I'll ask for assistance putting it on. You should always ask assistance if you're unsure of how to put something on.
Magic
Yep.
badges, magic hands. I see.
And so Serena leans over and tilts you slightly in your chair, so that your chest is now facing towards Zachary, and you feel behind as there's like these latches and clasps being clipped into place, but you then feel her fingers run down the center of your spine where you could feel some of those latches were, and whatever is happening with that material and with the clasp that holders in place, that feeling of like something holding is gone, and it feels just seamless as it you now have an extremely form-fitting, essentially crop top sleeveless bra on Jake. He is rocking the ultimate piece of gym ab work revealing sculpted chest, wiry muscles. His physique is on full display with this tiny strip of cloth around his chest. He's
Shocking.
rocking it in style. Looks damn fine. That is beautiful material. It almost feels like it's not there. I'll be honest, this is not where I saw this meal going.
I don't think anybody did.
Wait, no one saw us going off on an obscure tangent for no reason for hours on end.
No-
Really?
Yeah, fair.
I mean, really?
And as she sits back, there's if I'm honest, I think you wear it better.
I would like to change into her
Yep.
and be like, no, you do, obviously.
A little moment of surprise. I wasn't expecting that from you. But looks at you critically and go, "You're right. I do."
Get that confidence.
And with that little that scene of clothing interchange, can I get all of you to make another wisdom saving throw? This time at disadvantage for everyone except Fokionis. You're just doing a
Well,
straight roll.
ignore that.
Fuck.
4.
7.
Nat 20 with a -1 for 19.
Oh,
With disadvantage?
With disadvantage?
Yeah.
Sorry, with disadvantage 12.
Right, I did it too.
Sorry, I'm
I
too
did
busy
that.
imagining even sluttier Jake.
Jake is rocking it. All right, give me so we had Alia was you said to ignore, so give me your numbers
Oh,
because I can see
4.
there's a few rolls there. Okay. Yep. Fokionis.
7.
Yep. Jake.
12.
12, and Zach,
14.
14. All right, so Alia, you've kind of now gorged yourself on turkey and other things that you grabbed and stuffing and everything else to the point that you've kind of popped out and your leather outfit, your armor that is normally just sort of sleekly fit to your form, there is a definite paunch poking out. Your belly is distended with how much you just ran through um the food that you
Food.
tackled. And as you come out of that in sort of like this semi food coma stupor, you kind of focus blearily in and just see this in your almost doped haze, this elven figure that almost has a halo around her, um and the tattoos are moving in almost a hypnotic way, and you're just staring at it honestly like you were the one who was ripping on a bong, and you're just staring at her kind of glaze-eyed and just she's amazing. You're not really sure what anyone's talking about, but she's just amazing. And that's on the table, almost in front of Serena at that point, just leaning against a half-eaten or three-quarters eaten turkey carcass, staring glazed eyes at her. Um, Fokionis, you you realize that probably that suspicion and worry you had, like you're starting to feel really good from the meal you're having. You feel strong, you feel rejuvenated,
Ah,
you feel energized. You've got these cool new things that you now know what they are, and there's some pretty cool shit in there. And this chick doesn't seem too bad. She seems all right. Like she seems a
well,
bit
I
more
still don't
legit
know what
than
she
what you
is.
thought before. Um,
Is she elf? Is she
Jake,
fish? Is she
Jake,
elven?
is
I've
she
heard
what?
of
Sorry.
silverfish, but not elven fish.
Yeah, maybe you can check in with her. Um, Jake, you're a bit distracted from where you were before by your new outfit and just how damn good it looks on you. So you're not quite paying as much attention to Serena as you were before. Like she's still, it seems like an amazing person. Like she's given you this great set of clothing, and you're looking down at yourself in the moment in her form, and she's got a great set of jugs. It might not necessarily be your thing, but you can appreciate art when you see it. Um, your tattoos don't seem to be moving the same way as hers. That doesn't seem to have sort of crossed over in your in the look for some reason. But you're really more taken back by just the quality of this material and how good you look in it. Zach, you sort of have invested a bit more time into eating and drinking, and kind of getting a bit caught up, worried that it might not be any left if you don't get some more in, and you're not quite as fascinated with Serena as you were, but you definitely think like she's on the up and up. Um, she's clearly trying to build some trust with you guys and do the right thing, and it was really nice to have those items identified. And this food is fantastic. And you also notice that where when she moved and was getting changed and swapping clothes with Jake, you got a bit of a look at there's a sword scabbard, like a narrow thin sword scabbard at her hip, and you could see that it was clearly of high quality, extremely high quality, as is the necklace hanging around her neck, that you got a decent look at it before she swapped over into Jake's clothing. She had to move it a couple of times, and the way it caught the light and the um the quality of the metal and the way that it kind of had almost like a rainbow shine to it was really unusual and really struck you as being high level. But she isn't giving you any indication, any reason to question her at all. She seems wonderful. Various levels of wonderful to all of you.
Mm,
Um yeah, sorry, do you have a question for a Fokionis, or were you just fucking with me?
I was just fucking with you. Very well played, though.
Thanks, mate. It's been 2 weeks,
Come on.
gotta
Come on.
gotta get one every now and then.
I like it.
So, uh, now they're kind of adjusting, Jake's Jake's clothing and sort of smoothing it out, where there didn't seem to be any wrinkles, but, Serena seemed to be feeling they're not quite a right fit. Um, Serena sits back a little, takes her glass off the table, and leaves her now empty plate alone. And go and addressing each of you as you're still eating, not looking for you to stop. I have a request of you, if you're able to help. Our paths may never cross again. We may never find ourselves in each other's company, but if we do, I would like to contract. I don't know how your group does things, whether that is a bargain for favor or coin or trinkets, but I would like to discuss with you the potential of uh, hiring. What do you do? What does your group? How do you operate? What? Who? Sorry, may I know your names? Because she introduced herself before and has sort of been patiently waiting.
Oh,
And
for fuck's sake.
My name's Zachary Duffeldorf. And
pleasure to meet you.
pleasure's all mine.
She nods slightly at that.
This
But
is
she's holding herself with a very regal bearing through all of this.
yeah, and we have Alia in the what's left over the turkey over there. You've Jake, who you just swapped clothes with, and
No, I can be whoever you want me to be, and I will change back to Jake.
whoever you want Jake to be.
As Jake does that, she reaches over, just gently squeezes his arm, almost as if like it could be mistaken as a flirting gesture, but Jake, with your perception and intelligence combined just passively, you can tell from the strength in that grip and just the slight way that she's moving her fingers that it seems more that she's checking what's real and what's not. Almost like whether what you just did was an illusion, whether your current form is an illusion or reality, which is something that you instinctively have a better grasp of with your abilities and your shape shifting. And sort of smiles and gives that slight squeeze and go, "That's a neat trick." And your attention is back to Zachary.
And yeah, various animals. I can't keep track of all their names. Yeah, we're crawlers. Basically, we're doing the big dungeon that's around. I don't know if you've noticed. So we do that. That's how we work, I guess.
And yeah, that you don't get a response back to that question, and you see that what has now become a familiar kind of disconnect when you're talking with NPCs. Something that you've been making some headway with on Ward, but when you start talking about being crawlers and sort of alluding to the crawl itself, you definitely noticed that there was a little bit of a gap, and then no reaction from her.
One of those. Fair enough, I guess. Yeah, what sort of thing were you wanting from us?
Sorry, may I? Your large muscular companion and the cat on the table. I did not catch their names.
Oh, hello. My name is Fokionis. You can call me Fokionis. Or Fuck.
Oh, fucking hell.
Hey, only you can call me that.
No, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Fokionis.
Oh, thanks.
And your smaller companion? and looking at Alia, who's still like you can see Zach as you've been doing the rounds. Like Alia is semi-catatonic just at the moment, but Ali, you are aware that this divine creature is now giving you her full attention. Up to you whether you want to respond or let Zach. Totally your call.
Hi.
As you raise that greasy hand, she reaches out and just pleasure. And your name?
Oh, that's
Whatever you want it to be.
it's not important.
Just don't call her late for dinner.
You are just a divine princess. So until I know differently,
Princess.
you shall be.
I ain't no
princess.
fucking princess.
Fair enough. I said, then you shall be no fucking princess. You can see at this
You
point, like,
killed
she's
Egg.
doing her best to figure your
Egg
group
was
out,
down.
but there is some definite confusion. This conversation is there's some bits here where it is not going around.
Sorry.
not potentially kind of connecting the way.
Yeah. Not Princess Alia. That's her name.
It is just
Uh,
Alia.
tell
Not Princess Alia. Very good. Your group, interesting dynamic, a strange sense of humor, but seems to serve you well. Does your group have a name, or are you known to each other?
Oh no, these guys. What do you mean? Like,
Does your band of mercenaries,
ooh,
travelers, do
ooh.
you refer to yourselves as the
Chaos.
Chaos.
Thank you. That's much
That's
better
her
than
name.
the not fucking princesses that I was going to ask. So
I mean, it's not without its charm.
Chaos, that
Yes.
fits. Yeah.
It could be NFPs.
All right. As your introductions finish, the Zach and Jake, especially where you guys are sitting, and Ali, actually, you're directly front on. There's a small ogre. Actually, it's quite a large ogre, but has a tattoo that kind of lumbers its way out onto her right shoulder and sits down on this even smaller stool and drags a grind wheel out and an extremely large sword compared to its height. And just kind of looking out, seemingly to be looking towards you all, starts sharpening the sword on the grindstone. It's the first chance with how much the tattoos have all been moving. Excuse me. You've actually gotten a clear look, and it's one of those simplistic kind of thick line drawn, very minimal detail, but you can tell it's an ogre, and you can tell it's a big sword, and you can tell that it's sharpening it on a grind wheel, and not threatening, just looks kind of cute. But it's weird to just see this tattoo just walk out and
Oh.
start
Hey,
sharpening itself on her shoulder.
Serena, where'd you get those tattoos?
These are my companions. These are my friends from the circus. They're with me
Sick.
always. And as she's saying that, another one, like a little what appears to be a dragon, a little small dragon swimming through water, chasing after bubbles, kind of shoots out on her left shoulder, and then zips back down and around and underneath the hem of what was the former Jake top. Maybe I should ask what I would like of you, and your group can, or leader. Do I? Sorry, should I be talking to someone in particular, or do you make decisions by vote? How would you
We
like me to
barely
address
make
you?
decisions at all. Like we just kind of do shit.
I see.
Yeah, we have a system in place. I just see, like, yeah, send an email. Yeah, copy in me and Fokionis, blind CC and Alia and Jake, but make sure you do that, otherwise it's not going to go through. And but yeah, just talk to all of us as one group.
I was waiting to see where you were going because you were just about to make a deception check on the last fucking email terms. uh, very well. So Serena is my name, but my birthright is as a princess. But unfortunately, I'm one of apparently many thousand illegitimate offspring from my father. I wasn't aware of
There's
this
1,000
until my
more of you
teenage
out there?
years when, sorry,
How many sisters and brothers you got?
look, if the rumors are true, over 5,000, but
Fuck.
but
That's a lot of Christmas presents.
I suspect some of those I
That's a
suspect
long ass
some of the
table when you all sit down.
I have only met one other of my supposed siblings. I suspect my father may have spread some of these rumors. He was a king who prided himself on his virility, but my my mother met him in a knitting circle where he was a prolific knitter, and I do not believe that lends itself to being
No, that's
like
sexy as
bedding over
heck.
5,000 women.
That is sexy as all hell.
I mean, it depends
Fully
what
understand
year.
your mother's reasoning.
Yeah.
That just means he's nimble with his fingers.
And he's
This
thinking
is
ahead, making things, producing
this is
things.
fair. This is fair, and he was a long-lived, full-blooded elf. My mother obviously was not, so I have inherited my bottom half from my mother and my top half, well, not literally, from my father. He was much more of a physique like you, pointing to Jake, than to anybody else at this table. But the church would hunt down any rumored of his offspring, and nobody met a good end. Their most popular method of disposal was drowning, but obviously that didn't work on my mother, and they found other ways um, to end her. And it was only just before her death, as we were in hiding, that I even found out of my father, who was a king, and that I am some sort of bastardized princess. Uh, this was momentary information before she was ripped away from me, and I, cliched, ran away and joined a circus. Um, I told fortunes and, pulled the wool over the eyes of the ignorant, um, and enjoyed that in hiding, until sadly my sister, who took over the throne when my father died in suspicious circumstances, has been on a rampage to eliminate all personally, um, of my offspring, of us. So I have lost many. The circus came under attack, I believe, from some of her sorcerers. I I I can try and explain, but the type of magic that was used did not. It is not known to me. Lost many. Some I was able to keep close, but the circus became my home. The ringmaster, at first my savior, and later, I'd hoped something more, but he was torn from me as well, and now the circus is a hive of these strange and dark creatures from what people once were. I am sorry. This is difficult for me to talk about, but I would like to contract you to either save or free those who were once so close to me. Should you get the opportunity, should our paths cross or your path cross with that circus, I will happily negotiate fair payment if you are able to help. And if contact can be made, I will be there with everyone that I can muster to help. So she's gotten a bit jumpy here and a bit all over the place, but you can all, even with some of your perceptions passively are not great, um, see that
What are you
some of that
saying?
was difficult and she's trying to piece things together. But yeah, there's clearly things that she, at this stage with your current lot of roles, that it seems very genuine, but it's disjointed, and both above and below the table, I'm sure you can see that there's some gaps in there and things that may have been missed or not explained fully in the skimming over some of that trauma and some of that messaging.
Oh, okay. That's quite a lot to take in. You mentioned you wanted us to do something for you.
Uh,
You want
Yeah,
us to join
if
the
we
circus?
just happen to come across her circus, we're supposed to free them. But like we don't know where they are or anything. Is that right?
yes.
So
Sorry, you're asking me above the table this question, right?
yeah,
Or yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
save or free them.
That's
Yeah.
a pretty good summary from that kind of disjointed initial sort of outpouring that you just got as she's
Yeah.
opened up to you guys a bit, engaged with you a bit.
So like what exactly happened to your circus? Sorry, I know it's probably hard to go into detail, but
Well, it's not for me. I've got about 300 words of notes, but yeah, for her, just let me find the section. So
Finding it difficult to talk about.
so just let me
difficult to
look it
talk
up.
while I find the right bit. Sorry, there's of course you have questions. The circus is Grimaldi's circus. Grimaldi was the ringleader. He took me in as a 17-year-old when I escaped
Starting.
the minstrations and the attacks of my sister and her zealots. And that is where I've been hiding. And in Grimaldi's circus, as I mentioned, I think I mentioned, I I told fortunes. I partook in parlor tricks, and I have some measure of magic at my disposal. And you can, like, points to the table that you're all now coming up on 3/4 of an hour of towards the back end of that feast. Um, and use those to benefit the circus and sometimes to benefit people where I could. But it all took a turn when we got rumblings of my father having passed away and my sister ascending the throne, and that that it it appeared that there was one last outstanding potential heir, the fish woman, as my sister would call me. And I mean, doesn't take a lot looking at me to realize that I may well be the last of the 5,000, if there was that many. Um, like I said, I mean, you've given me pause. It seems that my doubt of my father, maybe his knitting was far more attractive than what I believed. But yeah, the Finian was my father's name. He was high high king of the elves, and I an unknown bastard offspring. But sorry, I digress again. In order to assist with the weaknesses um, in my craft, Grimaldi sourced a heartrending vine. Um, I don't know where from. He assured us it was from the finest of druids, and that its purpose was to not just tell fortunes, but to enable us to act as Cupid and bring lovers together and help facilitate those relationships, and that the vine itself and its um and I'm not sure how it was supposed to work. It certainly never went the way it was supposed to. But I believe it was spores or some sort of gas that it gave off. But I had it in my fortune telling tent. Couples would come in, looking for love, looking to find love, looking to rekindle lost love, and it seemed that the vine would facilitate that. It would open their hearts to each other. Um, but that only lasted for about 3 months, and the vine steadily grew and grew. And each couple that was helped, it seemed to be more powerful and help the next group even more. Um, and then one night, it erupted. It exploded a mist and of spores throughout the circus, and all who walked into that were turned. They changed into these versions of themselves. Their eyes dead and glowing green. Grimaldi himself was the worst hit. Um, he was with me, and he was near the vine when it mutated. Um, the only thing I believe that saved me was this gift that was my mother's, and she touches the necklace around her neck, that provides protection from what I believe the vine does, the poisons that it emits, the corruption. But half of the circus was gone in a heartbeat. Some of us managed to escape. Some were out of the area of influence, but the clowns, the animals, the monkeys, lions, elephants were worst hit. I did not see all, but less than half of us made it out. And the trying to step foot back into that area, our former friends attack on sight. Um, Anyone that set foot in the circus was never seen again or torn to shreds, in front of the very eyes of those who would enter. And it has become a no-go zone. It is avoided, and none of the officials, and my sister included, seem willing to deal with it. It's left as is, and they're all trapped in those corrupted bodies. And the vine itself fills almost the big top, and it is insidiously under the ground. I believe it seemed to have taken root, um, and I believe it is the root cause of all of the corruption at the circus.
That's a lot.
I would see it
Root
ended,
cause.
and the suffering of my friends, my family freed. As I say, if we cross, if it happens that we find ourselves again, and you are able to find your way to Grimaldi Circus, um, ask of me, ask for me, and we will find a way. I will do everything I can with everything I have.
Mhm. Right, so where is this circus? The the vine? Or we don't know where it is.
The
Hold on.
it has some strange properties since the corruption. It strangely seems to move and change, but it will often be found near towns and cities, almost as if it is like I sometimes feel it is seeking me out, but it could just be seeking out further to corrupt or feed. Um, but if you find yourself, in an area not like this, if you find yourself in some open spaces, you can tell that she's actually having a difficult time formulating a response to, like, an exact you can see she's trying, but an exact response to this. But I guess wherever the circus travels, the signs to Grimaldi's circus travel with it.
Mhm.
And anyone who has encountered it will know that it was sadly Grimaldi's circus that they saw or experienced. Can
Okay.
you all give me one final wisdom saving throw, please? And
No.
you are all still at disadvantage. And I just saw what Jake's outfit looks like. And the end goal. That's fantastic. I should not have looked at that. Oh, that's awesome. I need to do a roll.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, she rolled really well too. All right, give me your numbers, people.
2.
5.
Yep. Oh my god, yep.
8.
Those eyes are perfect on Jake's face. All right, Jake, what did you roll?
A 6.
Oh my god.
That's not as funny as what Dante just did.
Look, as you are taking all of this in, like some of you are holding back tears. Fokionis, you have lost the ability to do so. Like, you thought you were doing all right, but you've just
Oh my
heard
God,
how
you've got
much
emails.
this poor woman has suffered. She's lost the love of her life, her mother, her sister is out to try and kill her. Her friends have been corrupted. It's all too much. She's probably the princess that her kingdom needs, but she's in hiding and she's under attack. And you just have ugly cry tears at the moment, Fokionis. Coming down you just you want to help so much. Like, this just is tugging your heartstrings, and you would love to be able to do whatever you can to help. Where Alia,
Bad
you're all in.
hands.
Whatever she needs, you pick 945. Whatever she needs, you are there for it. Yeah, it sounds like this evil mushroom vine deserves to die. There was something about a guy in the circus, but he's now not very nice. It doesn't really matter. Her sister's a bitch. You're gonna go and not fucking princess her up. You're in. Jake and Zach, overall, you're a little bit less inclined to just leap straight in, but you're like, you want to help her out. But the two of you are just cognizant enough to be aware that you're really keen to help if you can. Like, it doesn't seem there's any guarantee that you will. The interaction is just a little bit weird, seeing as how you're in this dungeon and you don't know where you're going to end up next. But both of you realize that at least you probably should think about guaranteeing or asking, at least asking, that there's some sort of reward, because she mentioned that she was offering various different things and no one really interjected on that. So you're both very keen to help. You see, like, Fokionis is a lost cause, trying to get words out, but it's just that, tears are streaming in a way that you haven't seen since he found his poor little puppy's collar from his mum. Hades, sorry, I was trying to remember the dog's name.
Eddie.
Alia is just clearly invested. Like, she's just got tunnel vision, glassy-eyed tunnel vision on Signet, and just is every sign points to yes. The two of you are at least cognizant enough that you want to help, but you kind of want to get paid. So, with all of that, the question Serena is going to ask is, if you can, Will you help?
I mean, yeah, but like we don't like how are we supposed to help like uncorrupt the, like where would we even start with the root and the uh, like anyone who goes in there like gets torn apart, as you said. Like where do you think we should start?
As the worst case scenario, I saw what you did killing things with fire, and she points back over her shoulder where, yeah, there's still the scorched walls from the dynamite and the fireball. And whilst I would love my friends back, I ultimately think their freedom probably rests in death, and I am prepared for that eventuality. Um, I it the heart of this, I believe, is a plant. Um, and hang on, she does have the name of the plant.
It's
Bear with me.
a Grimaldi vine.
No, it's
Is that
not.
what she called it? Yeah.
It started as a heart-rending vine, but then it mutated. It mutated into an enthralla. I gleaned some information, but I will continue to look for maybe a poison that is powerful enough to kill it, or a way of lifting whatever this. I'm not familiar enough with the magic that was used. I don't know if it's a curse or a spell. I do know that it did not feel to me like my friends were there anymore, as much as that scares me. I do not know where to start, but I am worried I know where this ends. But I want them to be free.
Okay, so find Circus kills you.
Alright, yeah, what are you
Yes,
offering
please.
us to do this?
Uh,
Uh,
sorry, finish your question.
I think like, yeah, I mean, it seems like we're doing a favor for everywhere, but we need like a reward still.
Uh,
Sorry, it's
uh,
how we operate.
Of course, of course. I could see that wounds were healing, and it may have been missed earlier. Uh, would you prefer coin or trinkets as the sorry? And she just somewhere in that
Okay.
mithril there is a cloth silken kerchief that she hands down to Fokionis. You have such heart, big man. Coin, trinkets, favor. While you think of that, she pulls out these two stones, and I'll have to get the item and send you what it is, and hands one across to you, Zachary. This will let us communicate, limited, but it will let us communicate to hopefully find our way together while you think of what you may like as a reward, and then I can tell you what I might offer. Or a mix of any
Alright.
of the above, if that is what your chaos would prefer.
I mean, we've done work for nothing before, so you know.
Yeah.
Bonus.
It depends on how we go.
I mean, also,
Yeah.
we could die, and then in which case we don't need no reward because we're dead. So, you know,
Yeah, that'll work, wouldn't it?
I'm not saying I want to die.
If I may propose a
It's
solution
just
to
trying
this confusion, what if we are able to meet and we able to one way or another end this corruption? Maybe I can present to you some choices, and you may take from
Or
those.
is there like a door A and a door B and a door C?
What
Probably.
I'm suggesting is that some of my most precious treasures are on my body, and she lifts up that shirt and
Ooh,
like
wait, you're gonna give
touches
us your body.
the mithril chainmail.
Jake, I think she's gonna hand over her
She-
body.
She looks over at you
I
and
already
winks,
took that.
and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like an elf and a fish, how does that work?
Oh my god, thank God you asked this
Oh,
question.
are we
Fucking
really
for
got?
so long.
Oh my
Hold on.
god.
I had just assumed she was like a dolphin.
What?
she kind of looks at you, shows you clearly outworlders. When a daddy elf and a mummy fish lady love each other very much, and fade to black for the explanation.
And go, oh, that's how it works.
And we come back from the fade to black, where at some point in that little intermission that we just missed there, Vokionis is looking at these pieces of paper, like these napkins where they're like with crayon marks on there. He's like,
But and the eggs on the outside?
no, I think that was just a stain from your tears. No,
Oh, okay.
no outside eggs. Look,
Told
maybe
you it was
I
like a
can put
dolphin.
together some reading material for you before we meet again, or maybe you can find something in your travels that may help in explaining this better than what I potentially can. Like, whilst I was there at my conception, I was not an active part of it.
No, that'd be weird.
Right? And as all now that is done, she also takes the sword out of its scabbard, and like presents it for you to look at, handing it over to you, Egg, and you can see. I said, th- this is another of my most prized possessions that, depending on the success of what we may achieve, may be to your liking. And it is a sword, magic sword called the Defender. That is a +3 sword to both attack and damage. This is a very high level magical artifact. And she's already pointed to the mithril armor, which you guys are a little bit familiar with, and that that you at least know one person who would be interested in some mithril. And is mentioned the sword, and I steadily been building a resistance movement. That makes it sound grander than it is, but we do have some coffers. We do have gold and platinum available, and if we are successful in this, maybe we can go further, and maybe a favor from a princess may be to your liking.
Awkward silence. Right. Okay. Cool.
And with this, your hour is up. That the table and the accompanying seats just steadily, they don't disappear out from under you, but they do steadily start to take on an ethereal form, until the point that they are gone. So you don't need to, don't fall to the ground or anything. You're able to step up from your seats. And look, if it helps, the reward is only going to apply if we are successful and we survive.
Alright.
And we're
Yeah.
able to meet again. If that
Well, we've
is
got
to
the
your
rock, so
liking,
that's gonna happen. Isn't it? I mean, you're not just giving us a rock and it's just a fucking rock.
I misheard the first bit. Sorry, mate. I got a bit crackly there. That's from my
We said
headphones.
we're gonna meet again because we've got the special rocks.
Yes, yes. The world is a big place and full of dangers, but I hope that we were able to communicate and coordinate.
Alright.
Cool. Okay.
So,
So
So
I must take my leave shortly. Um, may I? Do you have any other questions for me? May I assist in any other way?
mm, what do you know about this castle palace place?
I
We're below.
I haven't. I've only seen the the underside of this city above. I've been trying to scour this area for um, potential allies, and my clearest way to doing that was if a party could defeat what was in there, then I believe they have a chance at helping me. Um, I have seen the just reeking knoll creatures um, early before this area was filled with water. There were many goblins involved in the construction, but they seem to have gone. Every now and then, the Weasley little potion master will come here and further through. Um, but I've only gone a small way further, and there is a rather imposing door there that I I I, I don't know of the castle beyond its walls. What may lie there? I just know that there is a castle from listening to the Baron and others talk.
right, so
They were
pretty
they
much
were a group that was set here to keep errant adventurers from wandering through further.
well, that didn't fucking work, did it?
No, it did not.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Sorry. All right. Um, no, that's it. Thank you for like the food and uh, the company. It's nice to see a friendly face down here.
Oh,
Um,
come on,
and
man.
and we'll we'd love to, if we ever find this Grimaldi circus, we'll have a look and see what we can do. We'll do our best to help your circus
We'll
friends.
help people or Jake make spaghetti. Either way.
Yes, but I'll look fabulous while doing so.
Oh, true.
I'm just picturing Jake doing like an anime twirl that finishes in like sparkling, glowing eyes and a big. he said that.
You're forgetting like the flaming sword out behind to obviously add to the glow.
Glorious. All right. I thank you, Agents of Chaos, for your assistance. I've been thinking since you asked of what you may be able to find. Um, it seemed that some people with stronger wills were able to escape the corruption or hold it at bay long enough to get out of the circus. So perhaps you may be able to find some items of assistance in combating or finding out what that source of corruption is and avoiding it. Poison. I believe there was poison in there because not everybody survived the assault. Not everybody turned. Some just fell. But these are my guesses, and I hope they lead you true.
Okay.
And as she's saying all of this, after you'd given the indication that you were done, to just sort of starting to be less and less clear, and as she's finished talking and talking about her time here being at an end, just fades and disappears from view from where she was standing.
And just like that, she was gone.
Does the top I'm wearing fade with her? I need to know.
No, it does not. Your top
Okay.
faded with her, and your fabulous top stays with you. So,
Well, that was a trip. Ale, are you going to speak now that the food's gone?
maybe she's muted the mic again.
What?
We was
Miss
just saying
Bay
that
says,
before the food is gone. Like now we might, see your head out of the turkey's bum.
I was napping like ages ago from.
I mean, that's
Viva.
fair because you have that big feed, and just like Christmas, you need to sleep after.
Yeah, 100%.
Alright.
I said I'm not a princess and I passed out.
This is true.
So short rest then. I think that counts as a short rest.
Is it a short
I'm
rest?
happy for you to take the short rest and make sure you have a look at your benefits from
Oh,
the
don't we have
Hero's
to do
Feast
that
as well.
in Foundry or something?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you can do it in D&D Beyond as well.
okay, cool.
But look, I am happy for you to apply those things because I think you get some temporary hit points and you get some resistances. It will only be depending. I don't know exactly where you're going next, so I don't know whether you're going to need it tonight. But I am happy for you to leave off looking at it in detail and applying it after the fact if you'd like to. Just want to let you know that you've definitely got some benefits from that Hero's Feast because that took an hour. So you can definitely put yourselves down as give yourself a short rest.
Okay, done.
And can I get each of you, now that Serena has faded, before you make your next decisions, just for potential info you might garner, can you just do a straight perception roll for me, please? No saving throws or anything, just a straight perception. And I don't remember if Hero's Feast gives you an advantage on those checks. If it does, you'll get the advantage.
No, it's just wisdom saving. throw.
Wisdom saving. Bugger.
I still don't know shit.
Oh, could have used that earlier.
Four.
I rolled a 5. So I'm oblivious. As
Where
you.
was all this when we were in combat?
7.
What was yours? Sorry, Jake.
7.
Yep, and Alia.
15.
Hey, someone at
Hey.
least knows what's going on.
So you're all left with this
I'm asleep, so it
fading,
doesn't matter.
this fading glow, but this like warm afterglow of like she was like that poor girl. She seemed really nice. She was so genuine. It was, look, you really feel for her. Just as she was fading off, like Brutus had his head on her lap and it was just like staring up at her, lost and entranced. Even he was clearly enamored with her. Alia, with your 15, the rest of your group is still, kind of lost in thought and memories of Serena and just how lovely she was. You feel just as a bit of digestion's happening and maybe your stomach is slightly less distended and letting out a giant belch to free some more room. You kind of snap out a little bit and you just realize as she's fading and as that feeling is fading that largely fades from you that had you so just awestruck with her, you realize that just being in her presence, and this is only you who's realizing this at the moment, that there didn't seem to be anything nefarious at play. It really just seemed like she was as charming as fuck. And whatever was going on with Serena, being in her presence and spending time in her presence just lent itself towards people liking her and feeling positively towards her and being inclined to, help her out and go along with what she needed or what she was asking for. Nothing malicious. No spells or trickery were used on you as best you could detect, but you definitely were left with the feeling that, like, the more time anyone spends in her presence, at least your group, the more you are inclined to feel positively towards her. She's a very charming individual and definitely has an aura about her that influences people.
Mm.
The rest of you is completely unaware of this.
Yeah, no.
You may well take some
Yeah.
convincing if you try.
Oh, she is a nice lady, wasn't she?
Oh my god, so nice.
Don't I look pretty in her outfit?
I mean, you look pretty as her, but
Can I swap back so I can do a little twirl for fuck? As
sure,
You absolutely can.
you're right, I did look pretty as her.
it's true.
And just it's further accentuated with the flaming sword still out, glistening off the scales on the bottom half of Jake as you transform. It is spectacular.
Jake,
Maybe I
did,
should stay like this.
did the dynamite go with your top, or have you still got that?
So what stick went? Just
Oh.
the homemade one. So now she's got something I made.
That's gonna
So
be.
Oh my
fun for
god,
her
that was
later.
still in the oh shit.
I've got
Okay,
the
I need to
rest of it though.
Well, that's
That's
lucky.
right.
That kind of
I've
came in
got-
handy
I have-
before when we made like burley of that last lot.
Yeah,
I will
okay,
say the one
Serena-
that she has is damp and wet, if you remember from the last one.
Yeah.
Yep, and it also had
But
some
that'll be
rolls
heat
being
staple,
made.
hey.
Shit. All
I
right,
don't know
add
though.
to
I'm
her
not gonna
biography
She's wearing mithril.
one by
She's starting a revolution, guys.
True.
And we're gonna go to the circus. I hope they have popcorn.
I mean, I want fairy floss.
Keep the fairy floss away from Alia.
I mean, that's gonna be hard.
She's gonna try
Oh.
to wash it.
That's where my brain went.
I just get 2, 1 for me, 1 for her.
I don't want to see her wash it.
I mean,
I can't deal with that.
I don't know if eggs frozen or just scrambled.
I'm gonna go with scrambled. While you guys are having that conversation, I'm gonna
While
load this back
Dante's
up.
finding the floss wash, fairy floss wash by the raccoon.
Okay, because I need an excuse.
While that's happening, so positional wise, you have exited out into a further one of these corridors. It is really well made now that you are past the that water section, and it seems that the walls are much more in keeping with the watery area that you just went through. It is those interlocking granite like, difficult to tell what the stone is without maybe licking it or sniffing it, as is your group want. But instead of the timber and like clean cut tunnels that you've been going through, this is bricked the entire way around in those granite like bricks. The floor is cobbled, and you can see up and ahead that the tunnel continues and sort of bends around to the left from where you're standing. And with your knowledge of the knoll map, that is where the tunnel terminates. Or where Mort indicated that the tunnel would potentially terminate, because even though the line goes into the castle, he suspected that it wouldn't just be a straight entry in. That was his extrapolation.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Let's go back. I mean, have a look.
I mean, we do still have dynamite.
Exactly.
Right, so you're heading up to the door. Oh, sorry. what you
Yeah.
suspected. Like, I'm talking like you guys now. You've been calling the door for so long now that I'm starting to say it. So you're heading up towards the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Well, the nice lady said there was a door there.
Oh, yeah, she did too. Good memory. But you guys have been calling it a door for like the last 6 episodes, or since whenever you found that there was a tunnel there. Yes, so she did say that there was a door there. Are you just passively looking like you have been, where you've been like picking up and noting traps, or is anyone doing anything specific before you
Yeah,
move up?
yeah. Yeah, I keep an eye out for tripwire and pressure plate traps.
And no longer a badger, so you've got a lot
Yeah.
more intelligence going for you. But
Oh,
no,
maybe
you
better.
noted that this is free and clear. This is easy walking, slight incline, but nothing too much that you notice. And as you guys navigate that around, it's about 60 to 90 feet as you come up, and then around to the left, you do find yourselves. Oh my god!
I love that one. Oh, it's gone. Where'd it go?
Why? You just wanted the fairy floor.
Yeah, nice and clean. Wait, fuck,
I
where'd it
have
go?
seen that a bunch of times, and that just doesn't get old. Even a loop, like I so feel for you. It's gone. All right, let's go
Figured.
back here.
Me with my bag of holding. Where did it go?
All right. So as you guys come up and around the tunnel exit, you do find what you'd expected and what was mentioned, which is there's definitely a door there, but it is a extremely large, ominous looking door. It's got a faint green glow to it that seems to be emanating from the door itself. And even where you're standing, which is around 10 feet back from it, you can feel that there is just this really foreboding aura that's coming off the door itself. Um, before you get to look too closely at it, everything kind of pauses around you. You can still move. It's not one of those frozen moments, but in glaring bright letters that fill your vision in a really strange way, because before it's like gone on TV screens or it's filled the sky, this notification comes up that the next episode of the Crawl Season Earth will be airing in 2 minutes' time. And with your group standing in front of this really strange, forbidding doorway, and that message pulsing and glowing and then slowly fading away from your vision, that's where we're going to leave it tonight.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, we're gonna have to fucking hightail it out of here.
Or miss the episode. No, if everyone else is watching it, it's a good distraction.
Ooh, good call. That's true.
So we're joining the revolution, yes?
Viva la revolution.
Yes. Whatever, yeah, whatever Rick's doing, will help with that. Hey, how is Rick?
Do we even know?
You know he's off with Zev.
Zev.
The fish lady in the helmet that came down in the astronaut helmet and whisked him away. Actually, why am I telling you this? You need. I'm not your note keeper.
That's so Umbrella Academy vibes, though. It's not even.
A little bit.
What?
That's Zeb now. Might be Rick.
Alright, so
Right. Well, that was a strange episode.
It was just Spar
Yeah.
talking for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, but yeah.
how
In my
does
defense, I did not expect you guys to talk with her for so long. I was ready for it, but I did not
Really?
expect.
Then I think you did expect it.
we need detail? Like, how does an elf
Isn't the
and
fog?
fish like it? They don't have the same bits. It doesn't work.
Maybe you can find a book on this in your travels. I mean, there's still a bunch of shops you haven't explored yet, and I'm sure plenty more opportunities to satisfy that curiosity.
So, god damn it.
That question I was expecting.
Yeah, I like how Dante's like, oh, thank God someone asked.
Pitch didn't want to be the first.
No. It's like, oh, come on. It's too cliche if I ask. Was everyone happy with their email address?
Yes.
No, cool.
I don't think Spar saw it though, but it was awesome.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
right. If
small.
I have to edit the
at
video,
bottom.
I expect some sort of text message in the next few
Oh,
days.
yeah,
Is it-
no, I couldn't because of the size of the screen where I'm watching it all play. When you do those little runners across the bottom, no, you'll get one from me when I'm doing the
No doubt.
video because I was like, nah, I
What the
can't.
fuck is
It's
that?
literally like less than a millimeter big. I
Yeah,
think
because
when
you
you
only
put
see it
writing up,
on the stream output, yeah. So it'd be
Yeah.
tiny.
yeah, it's just not legible. But then when I edit it, it's like
Yeah.
fill in the holes. You're like, oh yeah, I can see what that smart ass did. 1 second, you guys. For Twitch World, thank you very much for hanging out this far, guys. We're going to go and raid over to another D&D stream. Hope you enjoy it. But the after party here will go up on YouTube in the next couple of days. And please do check out the YouTube stuff. There's a bunch of videos going up there at the moment. New ones coming
Oh,
up
you're
every day.
prolific.
So check out the VOD. Peace out. Love you all. Thank you very much
Bye.
for hanging with us. And we'll check in and see what these guys do now that they've finally arrived at the mystery door.
It's a big green door.
See.
Bye.
You got there. You got to
Oh
the
my God,
door, and there was actually a door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know who was going to be the one to ask it about the way that it would work between the elf and the fish lady. I need to, if someone can
Like
tell
a
me the phonetic
dolphin.
pronunciation.
It would be like a dolphin.
So like an elf and a dolphin.
Yeah, because they're mammals and they have slits that are pretty much biologically similar to humans.
There we go. I'm sure there's a South Park episode on that, isn't there?
I have no idea. I've
I'm
never watched South Park.
Probably.
I'm sure. Oh, okay. I'm certain there is a South Park episode on
I
a.
did a whole bunch of research because we did a unit on them in biology.
Go.
Mhm.
Well, you above the table folks now have some new knowledge, but your characters, I look forward to
Like,
how
our
far they want to
characters
go
know,
down that.
you just faded to black while the explanation is going.
Yeah, but then Pocahontas wasn't clear. You still had more questions.
You can ask Jake. Jake will let you know all the ins and outs of that kind of stuff.
There you go. You got your.
Would there be more diagrams? Like,
I'm sure he'd be willing to go even further than diagrams.
I suppose you could just turn into a dolphin. Yeah.
Did I say you do have a shape changer in your group?
Jeez. Yeah, I have polymorph turn into a dolphin.
Oh, look at that.
Oh dear God. Alright, on that note, I'm gone.
Oh, bring on next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, let's stop.
Everyone champions different fucking animals.
I was just waiting for, you know, the going through all the libraries in the
Why?
areas, the multiverse, looking for books on interspecies, you know, coupling and compatibility of offspring and or ability to produce offspring.
Yep.
But I mean, if you can do a live show and tell, I'm interested to see what you guys decide to do.
Oh God.
Oh god.
That yeah, okay. That could be interesting.
Oh, Spa, I did send you a
Yeah.
message on Discord, but if you could send me the photo of, so I can take her top.
Yep, I am literally. I've got it saved in my NPCs. I've just got so many.
Mm.
Ah, crap! I just had it, and then
It's
I did the
alright.
wrong
Well,
one.
I
that-
do just
Oh
have
no,
a
I've got it. I've
study
got it here.
drawing without
Why-
it, but
Why don't you make AI pictures of like all the party instead of making us use the Hero Forge screenshot?
I will murder everyone if that happens.
Just everyone.
What's your answer?
Absolutely everyone.
Okay.
I have lost multiple commissions. My entire prices are all the way down. I'm having to scrape the barrel because of AI art.
Mm.
It's fun, but also no.
Not when you're trying to make your living off art. No. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm not
I get
making
that.
a living off of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
there we go.
How slutty is the full picture of her, by the way? Oh, that's bad.
It's only a waist up. It's
Oh,
essentially
that's
like the
so
seated at the table.
sculpted, though. How would
It's not what, sorry?
That's not gonna fit the sculpted, the way that the leatherwork is on top of it.
You can take artistic license, because you know
Just has
magic
a
fuckery
sensor
with my
bar
blessing.
across the nipples. That's all it'll be, a blue sensor bar.
Sorry, tassels.
You want to see the entire time I've been
Pasties on
drawing.
Jake on the.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me.
Sorry, you go, Lily.
So funny.
I'm just thinking. I'm just...
Drawing that.
Well, I've been drawing the entire time.
Yeah.
Of course you have.
Yeah, you're always drawing.
Well, yeah, of course. That's why we've got a little drawing PNG. But because of like the cloak of Elvenkind and the change of his top and stuff, I kind of want to do a better drawing of Jake.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do tassels.
And the flame.
Don't think you can or don't think you will.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe that could be your reward if you do you know, follow through on this and are able to succeed. Maybe just some magical tassels.
Tassels of Elvenkind.
Tassels.
You can have cloaked nipples.
no. I think if we get to choose the reward, I would like a collar of Elvenkind for Jake.
Whoa.
Hey, what? Sorry.
A collar.
Oh dear.
A shock collar. Yeah, turn it up.
Stop
Yeah.
the pyro
Harder.
from lighting.
You never really got to like a nail down exactly what it is. So, but you'll know there's rewards.
The reward is revolution.
Yeah, just overthrow that AI. That's all we want. Like,
True.
too much to ask. Like, just let us skip to
Have
floor
you tried just asking
16.
the AI?
Have you
Yeah.
tried what? Sorry, say that again.
Have you tried just asking the AI to just stop?
Stop.
Yeah, you know, consent.
Yeah, stop. Just put the Earth back the way it was.
Hey,
And
AI, can
go
you
away.
please defenestrate?
I feel like we could twist it and be like, otherwise we'll cancel you on Twitter.
Or on X. You'll have to explain what
Whatever
X is
social
to the AI.
media they have. Did you hear about the whole X videos thing?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, Lord Almighty!
Yep.
It's a hellfire.
It's I was reading some really funny tweets on it about, especially around the X videos. Like, oh, this is just like, if the aim is to just get free publicity, he is generating masterful troll loads of free publicity. I think Twitter's or X is going to be integrated into a larger suite of whatever the end game is being built. Like how Facebook became Meta and started putting all their products underneath that flagship. I think that's what Musk is heading towards, but I don't know what his end game is.
I don't think he does
Husky,
either. So.
husky.
But I mean, you're a billionaire. You bought a social media platform and you're renaming it. Like, at the end of the day, he can do whatever the fuck he wants with it. And there's not, and no one can do anything about it.
Oh, really?
That actual action. You can choose whether to use a service or not, but none of us are going to be able to do no amount of internet outrage. And like Lilia said with the X videos is going to change that. But I saw one that was like, piss tape. But my son wanted to watch some Minecraft videos, so I thought I'd load them up on, and we'd watch X videos versions instead of Twitter video versions, and I'd support your change, and you'll be hearing from my lawyers. Because the content was not Minecraft.
Not Minecraft. Okay.
Surely a bunch of geeks and nerds like you guys are aware that X videos is on the darker side of the internet, the more illicit side of the internet, I should say, not darker side necessarily.
What? No way.
What?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I thought they were just about the letter X.
Yeah.
I know
I
this.
didn't know. I wouldn't look up that kind of thing.
Well, that now you know not
I always
to.
get return
because-
Now
section
they're not
for
to do
Discipled Malcolm when I type in X, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Egg, while you're still here, so you received one half of a pair of sending stones. I just couldn't look the item up quick enough to do it in Foundry, but you need to whack it in D&D Beyond anyway. So you got a set. You have one of a pair of sending stones.
Okay, I'll put it in.
She's never gonna call you.
Oh,
I'll just leave another message. Sure.
It's fine.
This is the 5th time today. She's not answering.
I think we just found our episode title in the the epilogue. He's not going to call you.
She's just not that into you. You're not dolphin enough for her.
Dolphin enough for
She wants a big, strong dolphin. Have you guys seen
I
that
love
one
the-
video where the dolphin like jumps onto a ship onto a lady like 3 or 4 times? She wants a
No.
man like that. Let me find it.
I feel like Egg's looking something up. It's got a cheeky
Yeah,
grin.
we're gonna get an egg gift now.
No.
Oh, he's
No,
thought better of it.
no.
He's going to save it for later.
Oh,
He's
dude, you
gonna
just about
push the next week.
broke me with the eggs on the inside of the eggs.
What do you
The
mean?
napkin after the fade to black. I
You
was
said
pretty
it'd
good
come
through
back
most
on
of it.
there
There was
with
just something
pictures.
about. I think it was like a threshold comment. It was just got to the like. I can't. I can't. I can't.
Well, because fish.
I know. I
it
got
doesn't
it.
work with dolphins, but it's fine. That's not the point.
I don't know where the dolphin part came from. It's like
I don't know.
a snake / eel lower half, and it.
Because you've got to
Oh,
relate it as close as you can to a mammal, and the only like
there's-
mammal that's ocean-born are whales and
There's-
dolphins.
I'm with
Yeah.
you. So in terms of
So,
a
like-
reproductive sense of Jake either displaying,
If you're going
demonstrating,
to
or explaining.
Look,
Keep in mind, we are still in the after the game, so you just keep that in
yeah,
mind.
even
Just let you
snakes
territory.
lay eggs. Like it doesn't work. Like
oh, here it is. Hilarious moment where Frisky Dolphin gets a little too friendly. It was like a thing that was on the news and everywhere.
The news?
On the news?
What's the news?
seemed
Oh, it was
into it.
back when I was like, more of a kid than I am. Trying to find the video link. There we go. You are wrong, Frisky Dolphin.
Where are you playing that? I can hear it.
You are welcome.
What the hell?
Chronically
I see.
online.
Oh my lord.
Okay, let's mute that tab.
Yeah, do not include in video.
No. Oh, I said, holy dooly. That yeah, that dolphin's getting very forward.
Yes.
That's the kind of man she's after.
What? Allegedly.
Alright.
Allegedly.
I think
Oh
I
my
might
goodness.
call it a night there.
Yeah.
Have a
Yeah.
good evening. See you next week.
Can't wait to write the recap on this one.
Well,
All right.
yeah.
Thanks everyone. That was great.
Yeah, everyone.
See yous.
Bye.
Bye.